All right, let's dive into something pretty awesome today, the Night Dust ROI Simulator. You know how you're always wondering, what if I did this? Or what if the price went up? Well, this tool is basically built to answer those very questions and give you a peek into what could happen. So, seriously, what if you could kind of model your crypto future? Imagine having a what-if machine right at your fingertips, a place where you could test out a wild new lending strategy or see what happens if the price doubles, all without risking even a single one of your tokens. Well, that's exactly what this simulator is all about. So what is this simulator? It's your tool for instant income projections. And really, at its heart, that's the whole game. It's about getting those instant projections. You plug in your ideas, your strategies, your assumptions, and it just crunches the numbers for you right there in real time. It shows you what could happen. You can tweak all these different parameters and immediately see your daily, monthly, and even yearly income change. And the philosophy behind this is so important. It's a KISS model, keep it simple. The whole point is to not be some crazy, complicated spreadsheet that makes your head spin. It's all about giving you these really clear levers you can pull so you can instantly see, okay, if I do this, that happens. All right, let's get into your control panel. We're going to go through understanding the key parameters you can adjust. Think of this as popping the hood on the car. These are all the levers and dials you get to play with to build out your simulation and test your ideas. The basic concept is super simple, right? Your night tokens generate dust tokens. This control panel just lets you model that whole process from start to finish. First up is your night balance. This is pretty straightforward. It's the total number of night tokens you hold. But, this is the absolute foundation of everything. It's your starting point, and every single calculation from here on out is going to build off this one number. So, to get you started, the simulator defaults to 100,000 tokens. But look, this is your sandbox. You can plug in exactly what you have, or you could just dream up a totally different scenario to see what's possible. It's all up to you. Next up is dust per night per day, which we'll call RD. This is the daily rate that each night token generates dust. Honestly, you should think of this as the engine of the whole model. It's what determines how fast each of your night tokens is pumping out new dust, day in and day out. And the default setting for that engine is 0.10. So what does that mean? It just means the model assumes that for every single NIGH token you've got, you're generating 1/10 of a dust token every day. And let me tell you, this number, it's absolutely crucial for everything that comes next. Okay, so you're generating all this dust, but what's it actually worth, right? That's where the dust price in euros comes in. This is where you get to set the market price for a single dust token. The simulator kicks things off with a price of 2 euro cents per dust. And as you can probably guess, this is a huge variable. I mean, even a tiny little change to this number can create these massive ripple effects throughout all of your projections. It's a big one.
Okay, now we're getting into the fun part, strategy. The percentage of dust to lend. Once you've generated all that dust, what are you going to do with it? This slider lets you decide exactly what percentage you want to lend out to earn interest and what percentage you're maybe just going to sell. By default, it's set to a nice, balanced 50%, a 50-50 split. Half gets lent out, the other half is assumed to be sold. But hey, the power is all yours here. You could crank that up to 100% lending or drop it to 0 just to see how those different strategies play out. And of course, for the dust you decide to lend out, what's the reward? Well, that's your lending rate, the APR. It's the annual percentage rate you're earning on the dust you've put to work. Simple as that. The model starts you off with a pretty solid 10% APR. This is the interest that's going to fuel the whole lending revenue side of your income projections. And just like that, all our inputs are set. See? Easy. Okay, we've tweaked all the knobs and dials. Now for the really fun part, the instant results. Let's look at how your parameters translate into projected income. This is where we see how the simulator takes everything we just put in and turns it into actual, clear projections. And what's so great is that this isn't some kind of black box. The calculation for your total euros per year is super transparent. It's just 4 simple steps. Step 1, it calculates your daily dust earnings. That's just your night balance times R. Step 2, it turns that dust into euros using the price you set. Step 3, it adds in your annual lending revenue. And finally, step 4, it just combines your sales and your interest for the grand total. So simple, so clear. All right, let's talk about the reinvest decision. This is the powerful choice between compounding and cashing out.
And honestly, this next little switch might just be the most important strategic choice in the whole simulator. It's that classic, powerful decision. Do you compound your earnings or do you cash them out? And the difference is huge. Look, if you turn reinvest on, your lent dust principal just keeps growing every single month. You start earning interest on your interest. That's the magic of compounding, right? But with it off, you're only ever earning interest on that original amount you started with. And let me tell you, over time, the difference between those two can be absolutely astronomical. Okay, let's look at projecting the future and visualizing your strategy over time. Because this simulator doesn't just give you a snapshot for today. Nope, it projects your whole strategy out into the future. And this is where you can really see the long-term impact of the choices you're making, especially that reinvest decision we just talked about. So how do you understand these projections? It basically gives you two key graphs. The first one, cumulative value, just tracks the total potential value of everything you've got month by month. The second one, outstanding dust, zooms right in on your lent dust balance. This is the one that really shows you that beautiful compounding curve if you choose to reinvest.
And our very last control is the simulation horizon, in months. This one's super easy. It's just how far into the future do you want this thing to project your results? Are you thinking about the next 12 months, or are you trying to model a big 5-year plan?
By default, it's set to 36 months, which gives you a nice 3-year look ahead. That's a great timeline for a medium-term view, but you should absolutely play with it. Shrink it down to see short-term results, or stretch it way out to see your long-term vision come to life. And finally, look, this is probably the most important thing I'm going to say. The disclaimer. This is a simplified model. It is not financial advice. It is a fantastic, amazing tool for playing around and understanding the mechanics of a strategy. But please, please remember, the real world is way more complicated. So use this for exploration, for learning, not for making concrete predictions. So now that you know all the levers, what scenarios will you simulate? And that's pretty much the whole tour. You now know every single dial on the control panel, from your starting night balance to the generation rate, all the way to that super powerful reinvest switch. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to simulate first?